I'm so excited to be leaving Georgetown right now.
This week, we have a little bit of everything. A broken fridge, a freezer that quits twice, and Dave knee-deep in boat troubleshooting while we're still anchored in Georgetown. We also share how our battery, solar, and generator setup is holding up out here on the hook. And finally get a sunny day to explore the lazy river and a few Stocking Island beaches before heading out of town with dolphins off the bow and a barracuda ruining our dinner plans. Yep, just another day in our totally unscripted life aboard our floating home. If we haven't met before, I'm Jen, and this is Dave, a Colorado couple who swapped snow boots for scuba fins aboard our Nordhavn 55. So welcome, and don't forget to hit that like button and smash subscribe so you can follow right along our journey.
Notice the ice maker's not making ice, and there's water all in the ice maker. I'm like, huh. So the freezer section of the refrigerator is getting warm, and it's not cooling enough to make ice. I get into the manuals, look at the ice maker's fine, freezer's warming up, couldn't figure that out. The way they build these boats, they start with a hull, they put in the refrigerator, and then they build the entire boat around the refrigerator, basically.
It ain't coming out.
So you just
out.
replace all the parts. The condensers are working, the evaporators are working, the compressors are working. It's got to have a leak. So finding someone, and here's the other thing. We're in Georgetown. They don't really have a marina in Georgetown that our boat can fit into. So everyone's on the hook, and finding these guys that will get in a dinghy and go out to your boat.
Ooh. Some of them are retired. They'll come and if it's in a marina, but
they're not coming out to your boat.
Oh, and that's when we had a lot of wind, and the waves out just in the bay in Georgetown were really bouncy.
I need a guy with 134. Nobody's got 134. Like, okay. So finally I get the guy. Oh. He's off the island. He's coming. He's on island time. He came. He fixed the fridge.
Did.
So the fridge, by the way, so I didn't tell Jenn. I will fess up a little bit here, okay? The ice maker didn't make ice because it was too warm. So I knew the freezer wasn't getting cold enough. Get the manuals out, watch some videos. I'm gonna see if the compressor's working. In our Sub-Zero fridge, it's got the fridge on top, 2 freezer drawers, and on the bottom is the tray that comes out, and it has all the working innards.
Underneath the
right.
freezer. Yeah.
So it has the compressors and condensers, and that's really convenient to work on. So I pull the tray out, and as I'm pulling it out, I hear this. I didn't think much of it then, but apparently I snapped the line for the fridge.
Apparently.
And let the freon out for the fridge section. So we have 2 loops on our fridge, one for the fridge, one for the freezer. Yeah. And so now both sections are done. Anyway, finally get the guy to come out.
Yeah.
It's just gonna make a bunch of noise.
I'm sorry.
So finally get the guy to come out. And he sees where I busted the little copper tubing, raised it, no problem, charged it up. Fridge starts cooling down, freezer starts cooling down. So the fridge was working, the freezer was getting colder and colder throughout the day, got down to about 20 degrees Fahrenheit, and then all of a sudden, nothing. And then the freezer just completely went out. So as it's really crunchy. So as I'm troubleshooting, the compressor's working, the condenser's working. I'm like, it's out of gas. Maybe this guy didn't charge up the freezer. I don't know, but I gotta have him come out. Here's the funny part. On the bottom drawer is an ice maker. Ice maker was working fine. Ice maker is screwed into the back wall of the freezer. And one of those screws went through the back wall, and after 21 years of bouncing all over the ocean, that screw pierced one of the copper tubings in the evaporator for the freezer. It just kept on bouncing into it until finally, there you go. Found the leak, raised it up, charged it up, and we have ice tonight. So we've been sitting at anchor here for a few days and kind of got into a nice little routine as far as the power usage has gone. So a lot of you have been asking, let's put it in really simple terms. We go to bed at night and the batteries are topped off at, call it 95%. We crank on the AC in our room. We go to bed, we wake up, and we're sitting at about 70, 75%. That's pretty nice for the batteries. Then whatever we wake up with in the morning, battery-wise, we hit 4 or 5 p.m. with the exact same battery status. So we wake up at 75%, by 4 o'clock, it's 75%. How's that happen? It's magic. Solar. We're collecting these days 4 to 5 kilowatts of power per day from solar, which is just awesome. As we go out playing, the boat stays right where it's at. It runs a refrigerator, the freezers, the water pumps, the bilge pumps, all that stuff. It stays powered, and we don't use very much power at all during the day. Come 4 or 5 o'clock, crank up the generator for about 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours. And when we crank up the generator, I turn on the water maker, which adds about another 100 gallons, which is pretty much what we use in a couple of days. We'll charge up the batteries, maybe an oven, maybe the washer dryer, pre-cool down the boat. So we get the air conditioning on in all the zones, get it nice and chilled if it's been a hot day. After 2 hours, 3 hours of running the generator, we're topped off at 100%. Kill it. We've added 100 gallons of water. Laundry's done. We go to bed. Same thing, rinse and repeat the next day. It's really nice. So on average, if we're on the hook, we're running the generator about 2.5 to 3 hours, and that totally satisfies everything we need. Now, last week we had guests. We had 3 guests. We had Jenn's parents and her aunt, and guests use lots of energy. They open the refrigerator all the time. They make ice for their cocktails. They take showers and flush toilets. You hear that? They flush toilets. So they use water, they use power, and not a big deal. They also like to sleep in air conditioning, just like we do. Typical scenario now with guests, we go to bed at 100%. I turn on 3 air conditioning zones because we had 3 staterooms going. So we had the VIP, the master, and then we also turned on the pilot house for the captain's room back there. And I was a little worried at first, but guess what? Handled great. So at 3 air conditioning zones all night for about 9 hours, wake up in the morning, and we're sitting at like 35%. We have a 44 kilowatt battery storage. We have 8 batteries, 24 volts each, 230 amps. Do some math, get about 44 kilowatts. Each zone of air conditioning uses about a kilowatt per hour. So basically we're running through about 60%. That's about right for 3 zones of air conditioning. So we wake up in the morning, we're at 35%, and I'll crank the generator on for a couple hours as we're making coffee, microwaving, cooking, big breakfast when you have more guests on. I make some water because, you know, guests like to use water. And after about 2 or 3 hours, that's done. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. We go off and go play for the day, go explore, come back that evening, turn the generator on again. Just more for pre-cooling the boat, making sure the batteries are completely topped off, water maker's topped off, run that for an hour or 2 if we need it, and rinse and repeat. So basically the generator usage goes up to, we'll call it 4 hours a day, maybe 5 if we need to make some water. Find that we're using more water than electricity. So we have a 600-gallon tank. I'd like to keep that as topped off as possible, just in case something happens to the water maker. At least we have a couple of days worth of water. Never want to run it too low. So that's it. It's doing fantastic. And if I know we're going to go cruising for the day, I don't even have to run the generator. I know once we get underway, the alternators will kick in and start charging things up. All right, back to your regular viewing program.
Is yet another gloomy, rainy day here in Georgetown. It's not too bad. It's a little drizzly. Looks like the sun might come out, but it's cold. It's like 70 degrees, which is, okay. From Colorado, okay? I'm expecting the Bahamas to be like 80 and wonderful. It feels a little chilly. But anyways, I couldn't find Dave. I'm like, Dave. Where's Dave? Where's Dave? Where's Dave? And then I hear my name as he speeds by the boat. He's over there playing with his toy. And there he goes. I will say this has been the first calm water day that we've had in a while. I can actually see bottom. We have had like 3-foot waves in here, little white caps. It's been a little different, but today, calm. So it's a perfect day to practice e-foiling, which look at him, he's standing up. Don't get too cocky. That's what happens. That's what happens when you get cocky. You go down.
Try not to run into our boat.
Probably a good idea.
I'm taking a break.
You need help pulling that thing out of the water?
Yeah, I'm gonna need help with the board too. You don't have to get out here in the rain.
Okay, you gonna do it?
Oh, let me see if I can do this.
I think you can do it.
Yeah, let me see if I can do this. Gotta share this with you. I'm gonna go do an oil change on the generator and change out the fuel filters and a couple other things. I've got these little cards, laminated cards for each engine, main, wing, and the generator. And that's for the main engine. Just tells me when it's really easy just to look at this and say, hey, oil change is done. I put on the hours, coolant, fuel filter for the secondary, the primary, and the transmission fluid when that was changed, hydraulic pump, air filter, and that way I can just grab it real quick. I've got the same thing down in the engine room up on a whiteboard, but this is up here so I can compare it to the hours on the engine, and really easy. For the generator, this is funny. So May 1st, we changed the fuel filters and the oil at 8,400 hours. We have 8,600 hours right now on the generator. That means that since May to February, in 9 months, we've put 200 hours on our generator. Ha 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 ha. We've put 500 hours on the main engine. So it's not like we've just been sitting around. We have been going places. So that's about 4,000 miles in 9 months, which is about right. So 500 hours on the main engine, maybe 50 to 100 on the wing engine, and then 200 hours since May on the generator. Now granted, we were at a dock quite a bit of time, getting the service done over the summer, and then another month in Turks and Caicos, but I didn't use a lot of dock power then. So that is the power of solar and good charging and batteries, and yay. Jen, are you doing the oil change today? Or am I doing it? Why do I have to always do the oil change?
I don't know how to do it.
All right, step back a little bit.
Okay.
You see this? Engine, lube, oil, manifold. So you got a spare. You got the main transmission, the main engine, the wing engine, and the generator. And this all goes to the bottom of the oil drain pans for all of the engines. So when I want to change the generator, I just have to turn on this pump upstairs on the panel, and then I open up this valve for the generator. And now, with this switch over there that I can't see, it says fill and drain. Well, first thing I do is I drain it, and I take this hose and I pop it in a bucket and drain it, and then I can also fill up, and so I never actually have to. Most boats have these now.
Pretty cool.
Yep.
Finally, a sunny afternoon, so we're off to explore.
I haven't seen any turtles. We're in the lazy river south of Georgetown. I don't remember the name of the park though. Do you?
Moriah Carey. Not the Moriah Carey. It's a Moriah National Park or something. But I remember.
Like that. Yeah. We'll have to look it up. I don't remember. But I haven't seen any wildlife in here so far.
No, there haven't been too much. But one of our fellow Nordhavn owners, thank you, Mike, sent us the GPX tracks. We imported them into the Garmin, and then now we just follow the line to get in and out of here because it's a little shallow in areas.
Shallow. I mean, you can see how deep it is over there.
Just south of Georgetown, Moriah Harbour Key National Park protects one of the most beautiful and ecologically important parts of the Exumas. This massive 22,000 acres of protected park area is filled with beaches, sand dunes, mangroves, coral reefs, seagrass beds, and blue holes, all preserved thanks to years of efforts by the locals who fought to keep it that way. And since we finally have a nice sunny day, we packed a cooler and headed that way.
This water looks like it's a swimming pool.
Hidden inside this park is one of the coolest spots around, the Lazy River, a winding tidal channel where the current carries you through crystal clear water, mangroves, sandbars, and some seriously unreal scenery. Dave and I have been intentionally enjoying what the Italians call il dolce far niente, which means the sweetness of doing nothing.
Are hiking this morning on Stocking Island and just came across some ruins. We've never been over here. Interesting. Looks like it used to be an old beach bar, but headed over to the Atlantic side. Get a little exercise in. The wind hasn't really died down too much, but I'm like, we gotta get off the boat. What's in there?
Used to be a bar.
Oh, beer bottles. Wonder if that's the trail.
This is a beautiful beach, but it's the wrong beach. We're looking for Bobin's bath. The sea was just a tad too angry for us to enjoy Bobin's bath, so we enjoyed watching the waves for a while.
I feel like I'm gonna fall through. It is bread making day. We have had some really bad luck with grocery store bread. Yeah, I would buy a loaf of bread, and 2 days later, like half of it would be moldy. So I'm making my own bread. I'm testing the yeast to make sure it's still good and it's bubbling. Looks good to me.
This, by any means, isn't anything fancy. I'm just making a simple sandwich bread, but it makes fantastic toast.
Now I just have to let it proof. Yay! I'm so excited to be leaving Georgetown right now.
So you know you can activate the fence up here with that green button.
Oh, I forgot.
I
Are
need to
you
go-
excited? I'm excited.
I'm excited. I gotta go clean the water filter so we make some water. So we make some
Okay.
clean fresh water.
Yeah.
And I gotta
Like-
check the engine room. I like to check it right after we depart
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
we go out and
Yeah.
get crazy.
Well, how long have we been here? We've been here a long time. I'm just ready to move on. I like Georgetown. We met some great people down here and some fellow Nordhavns and other sailboats, but we've got friends coming in, so we're headed up to Staniel Key to pick them up and head north for a little while.
So what was your favorite part about Georgetown?
I really liked the river, the lazy river. I enjoyed walking over to the Atlantic side. I thought those beaches were really pretty. There's a lot more restaurants and stuff here, but I'm not sure if that's not really a favorite part. It's a lot more options. They had some beach bars and stuff, but I think I prefer a little more tranquility.
Yeah, you got a lot. So it's nice
Yeah.
community, people, friends,
It is,
things
yeah.
to do, resources. We got our refrigerator fixed. We got our AC
Yeah,
fixed. We got our
yeah.
freezer fixed. We got. I mean, we get stuff shipped in here. You got an airport that goes to multiple cities in the U.S. right there.
Yeah.
So that's nice. But,
Yeah, so if you need anything, it's super nice to have those.
if you need people to come in or you need things or
Yeah. But we met some great people. So that was probably my favorite part. It's all about people.
and then you meet
And
them, you
then
hang
you
out,
want-
you're
yeah,
best
yeah,
friends,
yeah.
and then you don't see them
And
for.
then you gotta go. It's like, oh.
That sucks.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna get the water filter real
Okay.
quick.
That's good.
You've got everything up here?
Yeah.
Of course.
This is their mail boat. That's where all the groceries come in, all the parts, their mail, everything else. But it comes, sometimes you never know when it's going to come in. So we actually went to the grocery store this morning before heading out, hoping to get some, pardon me, I'm driving, to get some fresh veggies. And that was completely desecrated. I mean, it was gone. The shelves were empty. All I wanted were a couple avocados and a few carrots and things, but no avocados. Boo-hoo. Driving right now, so we've got these taxis coming on, these super highway taxis. Of course, he's going to cut right in front of us. They always do. They're going to be fast. But if you look, this is where we're at now. We've got a turn, but it's just cluttered with boats. So many boats are down here. You guys know how much I love dolphins. Who doesn't, right? It was a young dolphin and two bigger dolphins.
Wow, that looks awesome.
Loosely. Very, very loosely. We had to move down to the pilot house because the waves are a little rough. I don't want to get sick, but we got to take our screens off. So Dave's up there taking our screens off. 73 foot deep. We got a fish on, you guys. The line out. Look at this blue of the water. All right, we're hoping for a mahi. That's what we want.
Started off real strong and then it just got real weak.
Did it?
Yeah. Oh, good shot.
That's a barracuda.
We get a barracuda.
Damn it. Let him go. Gosh darn it. Alright. Well, I don't want to touch those teeth. Boo. See, they follow us everywhere. They even follow us on a boat, on a fishing line. Alright. We gotta drive our boat. Let's keep her moving. Bread. Look how delicious that looks. That's a pretty sexy loaf.
Thanks for being here and following along with our life aboard Explorado. If you enjoyed this episode, hit like, subscribe, and drop us a comment. We love hearing from you. See you next time.